What's good, guys? It's Corey from Coopersnguns again, and today I'm answering a question that was asked to me. But I'm doing a video about it because if one person had the question, I'm pretty sure there's other people who got the question. So I'm going to just put the whole answer in this video. So let's get into it. So the question that was asking me was, what should you put in your EDC setup, everyday carry setup? That really comes down to what works for you. All of this got to be what works best for you. Like I said in the last video, what works for one person might not work for the next. So all of this got to be tailored around what's comfortable for you and what you're most efficient with. Obviously, if you just bought, say, a SIG P365, you only had it for 3 days and you haven't shot it yet at all, you probably don't want to carry it because you're not comfortable with it. You don't know what you're doing with it. But you have that, Glock 17 or that Glock 42 or 43 in the house that you've been shooting for God knows how long. That's probably something you want to carry. And if it's comfortable for you. So first, you definitely want to make sure you're carrying something that you're fluent with. Because we carry for protection, right? And the last thing we want to do is get put into a situation where we need to protect ourselves and we can't do it efficiently because we're not well versed in the weapon that we're carrying. So that's number one. Definitely make sure it's something that you're comfortable with, something that you fired if you're deciding to carry a firearm. Because some people's everyday carry isn't a firearm. It's just a blade. It could be just a blade. But whatever that weapon of choice is that you're using, make sure you're comfortable with it. And that goes back to, did I make a video on that? And that touches on a little bit of what I was touching on last video with purchasing a firearm, if it's a firearm. Or a blade. Make sure it's comfortable in your hand, for one. Make sure that you're trained with it and you're well versed in it. So, that's number one. Number two, I'm pretty sure you don't want to be walking around with a heavy pistol on you. Once again, if you're carrying a firearm. Reason I'm using that is because most of us, when we have a EDC setup, a firearm is involved. Whether it's a firearm, a blade, a flashlight, and mace all in one setup, regardless, 95% of the time a firearm is involved. So that's why I'm using that. You don't want to walk around with something that's too heavy. You want to make sure it's, lightweight, but effective at the same time. Once again, effectiveness is key. Key. It is key. But something that when you sit down, you don't even realize that it's there. Something that's not too big, something that's not drawing your pants down, whether it's in a holster or not. And we're going to get to that too. So that's number two. Definitely want to make sure it's something, at an appropriate weight for you. Number three, if you're carrying a firearm, make sure you have a good holster. It doesn't have to be a $95 or $100 holster. Yes, I've seen holsters that expensive. You can go on Amazon and get a pretty decent Kydex holster. I'll put links to those down in the description so you can check that out. But it doesn't have to be, an expensive holster. Just make sure you get a decent holster. And it doesn't have to be Kydex neither. Most of us use Kydex, but it doesn't have to be Kydex. But I'll drop a few links to some decent holsters down in the description. But yeah, if you're using a firearm, make sure that you have a decent holster that has good retention in it. So that way, if you gotta get up on your foot and get to running, you don't want your gun bouncing up and down. That's not what you want. You want it locked in there and secure, so that when you have to draw it, you know exactly where it is. You can pull it and fire it without a problem. So, as far as the firearms go, there's some few tips for you when you decide to put a firearm in your everyday carry setup. As far as the actual setup itself, that depends on what you're doing. Some people carry a pistol, a blade, a flashlight, on top of the flashlight that they have on their pistol. Obviously a wallet. Most of us leave the house with a wallet every day. Whether that's male or female, women need somewhere to put, their debit cards and stuff like that. A wallet. I've seen these tactical pens. I'm gonna put a link down in the description for that as well. But I seen these tactical pens, they're pretty cool. It's like an actual pen, you know, a ballpoint pen. But you pull it apart and it has a blade in it. Pretty cool. So I've seen people carry those as well. It really just depends on, you know, what's comfortable for you. Obviously you don't want to leave the house with 10 different items and it's weighing you down. You don't want to do that. But you don't want to do that. But if you do want to carry with a firearm, I recommend, it's just my recommendation, a firearm, a blade, and a flashlight. Reason being is you can get into a lot of trouble if you pull your firearm, whether you're planning on firing it or not. Just hit me up. If you pull your firearm because it has a flashlight on it and you need to be able to see something, you can get in trouble if the wrong person see that and they decide, you know, people don't like to mind their business and they call the police. You can get in trouble for brandishing your weapon. That's actually the reason why people carry a separate flashlight and they have one on their firearm, so if they're in a dark situation, you know, boom, they're equipped to handle the situation. I'm gonna put a link down to a couple of blades down in the description, a few different flashlights, a few different holsters. I'm gonna put that tactical pen down there. What else? Yeah, so yeah, man, like I said, it's just whatever is comfortable for you. Some people just carry a blade. And if you're wondering why people carry a gun and a blade, every situation doesn't call for a gun. The situation may just call for a blade, where you just got to slash real quick to get out of the situation and take off. Another reason people carry blades and firearms, if something happens and it's a rollover accident and your seatbelt's locked on you, that blade will chop right through that seatbelt and get you out of there. And your loved ones, whoever may be in that vehicle with you. I also know some people, they keep, everybody doesn't do this, some people feel it's a little bit too much, but it also depends on where you live at as well. Some people keep a shotgun in their car as well, and I see that more common with trucks, but they keep a shotgun in their truck or AR-15, as well as what they have physically on their person. Like I said, that comes mainly from where you live at. I normally see that more down in the like in the country areas, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but like more down in the country areas or people who have farms, things like that. I don't really know anybody like in city living who's riding around with a pistol on them and a shotgun or an AR in their vehicle as well. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, I don't know anybody personally who does that. But yeah, it happens. People do it. People do it. Depending on where you're at, it's not illegal. So, hey, if you can do it, why not?
As I love you, just know I got your back. When it get tough, just stay strong, you gotta stand on that. Never fold, learn your wisdom.